What if the loudest sound in Chicago tonight isn't a crowd roar, but the click of a pen that flips the whole NFC North on its head? Picture it. Snow flurries drifting over the lake, the Hollis Hall lights humming after hours, and a black SUV nosing up to the player's entrance like it's delivering winter early. A door opens. Shoulder pads stud against a duffel. Somewhere a printer spits a last page, warm to the touch. You don't see a signature. You feel it because every 3rd and 2 at Soldier just got heavier, and every defensive coordinator in the division started sleeping worse. That's the moment you build a season around. The moment when 4-minute offense stops being a wish and becomes a threat your grandfather would recognize. This is Bears News Fan Report. If you breathe blue-collar football, you're home. Hit subscribe, smash like, and in the comments, give me one clean line. Your boldest fair offer. Picks in one player, stamped with Bear Down. Here's what you're getting in this video. A straight talk breakdown of why the timing makes sense. The exact on-field changes this move would create 2 realistic trade packages. One aggressive, one disciplined. A simple cap snapshot without accountant talk, and the checklist of tells we'll all watch this week to separate smoke from fire. I'll keep the tactics playing duo, mid-zone, counter with what they mean in one sentence each, and I'll respect the legacy that got us here. Peyton's second effort, a train's alley thump, Fort's angle theft. By the time you hit the comments, you'll know what we gain, what we risk, what we regret, and what it demands from the big boys up front. No fairy tales, no hedge words, no trust me bro. You'll get the football, the fit, the cost, the truth. First, why? This is even a conversation in hard-hit season. Chicago wins when the line gets to fire off instead of catching. We don't need magic. We need math 6 yards on first down, a safety creeping down because he's tired of tackling, a quarterback living in 2nd and 4 instead of saving the world on 3rd and 9. When the air turns knife cold, this city stops debating and starts leaning. You see it in faces on the sideline. You hear it in the way the lower bow inhales before a snap everyone knows is going inside. Our defense becomes meaner when it isn't stuck at 70 snaps. Our special teams become field tilters when drives end in points instead of punts from the paint. The whole organism works better when the offense can close. That's the football logic. Now the tactical snapshot I promised. Duo. Double teams at the point of attack to dent the front. The back reads the linebacker and hits daylight before it closes. Mid-zone. Aim point at the guard. If defenders over-pursue, the back plants and slices against the grain. Counter. Pullers create a second gap. The back is patient, then violent, using a kick-out as a launch ramp. Marry that with play action that actually bites because linebackers respect the run. And suddenly, your rookie QB isn't throwing prayers. He's throwing on time, on schedule, into windows he can actually see. That's 4-minute offense too. Not just running late, but owning the middle of games so the 4th quarter belongs to you. Here's what I will deliver before we drop the hammer. Later, a read on the locker room ripple. Arrivals like this change pecking orders. The stamina tax, backs who run through contact age fast if misused. And the usage plan that makes sense in Chicago Weatherhammer early. Steal yards with screens, ration collisions. Arrive fresh for December. We'll talk clever ways to stay heavy without being predictable. Condense splits to crack edges. Slice motion to widen alleys. And the QB's role as a point guard, not a stuntman. We'll also draw a line you can defend at a tailgate. The most you pay without hating yourself in 3 drafts. You'll leave with a barstool standard and a fan's checklist. If the phone rings, these are the numbers and names that make you nod or walk away. All right. You wanted the headline, clean and loud, so here it is exactly. Saquon Barkley, the Philadelphia Eagles superstar running back, to the Chicago Bears. That's the news we're exploring tonight. It is a speculative scenario, not an official announcement, but it's the move on the table in this show. Saquon Barkley goes to the Bears. From here on, Everything we do is about whether that sentence should become our reality, what it would cost, and what it would buy on Sundays when the wind cuts sideways off the lake. Start with fit. With Saquon, 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, stops being a tell and starts being a threat. Defenses roll a safety late. Duo turns into body. Blows double team at the point. Shoulder pads stack. The back jump cuts a half step. And your 2nd and 4 is already written. Sitting too high to guard the pass. Mid-zone punishes honest alignments. 1 false step, and he's through the backside lane like a snowplow cutting slush, and the sticks are moving while the clock gasps. Muck the 8 gaps and bring heat. Counter. Gives you a 2nd gap and a plan. If the end crashes, he rides the kick out, shrugs an arm tackle, and suddenly the defense is begging for 3rd down. And when it is 3rd down, he's not a panic outlet. He's a stress test. Angle routes against nickels who don't want that smoke in traffic. Screens that flip the field because he outruns angles. And pass protection that looks like a 3rd guard with wheels. Square up. Violent hands. Stone the blitzer. Bend leak. Late if the pitcher softens. The QB benefit is the quiet miracle. Young quarterbacks grow fast when they live in favorable down and distance. Play action turns from cosplay into soul stealing when linebackers are stuck in conflict. Step up and the ball goes behind your ear. Stay back and you just gave up another 6 yards off guard. Saquon widens aiming points for the line punishes. Indecision, and this matters in our city, turns a merely decent block into a 1st down because a tackle that brings down an average back becomes a ride along with him. That's how drives end in kneel downs. That's how defenses breathe and hit harder. That's how December belongs to you. Now the cost, because wearing a hard hat means reading the invoice. Currency 1, picks. You're not getting a player. Like this for a handshake and a smile. The aggressive package looks like 2 premium picks plus a starter on a rookie deal who fills a Philadelphia need. You're buying wins and shrinking your draft chest at the same time. Currency 2, cap. We keep it simple. Big bags with big numbers require planning. There's structure to respect, escalators to mind, and a locker room to keep whole. Currency 3, identity. You don't add no, 26 and keep pretending you're a finesse outfit. You promise the line the offense is going to be a body blow machine. That means calling runs on days you're tempted by pretty pass looks. It means living with 3-yard hammers in the 2nd quarter because you know there'll be 6s in the 4th. Here's trade package A. Go big. 1st this year, 2nd next year that can escalate, and 1 starting caliber player who doesn't. Break your core. The football argument. You trade future maybes for present certainty and reshape the division race now. Here's trade package B. Hold shape, 1 premium pick, 1 mid-rounder, 1 depth piece. You draw a hard line and dare the market to blink. If it doesn't, you pivot to a committee built on Rose downhill grinder, slasher, protector, receiver, and you manufacture the same weight with motion. Wham blocks, a tight end cracks a defensive. Tackle from the side, and trap, let the defender upfield and hit him with a puller. Either way, you leave this video with a number you can defend. Risk report, no sugar. Soft tissue is real for backs who jump cut, so you ration collisions. Run heavy early, lighten the box with motion, steal cheap yards with screens, and keep a pitch count that makes December legs feel like September. Leadership ripple is real arrivals like this rearranged chairs. The message has to be tidal. More bite for the offense, more breath for the defense, more Sundays finished on our terms. The hidden risk, overcorrecting. If you pay big, you must. Resist the urge to prove the ticket every Sunday. Use him as a closer, a tone setter, a multiplier, not as a crash dummy. What changes on the field the first week? Friday scripts from opposing coordinators. Safeties roll earlier. Corners start peaking. Linebackers stop buzzing the windows with full conviction because they're a half beat late on run fits. Your QB's footwork relaxes because he trusts the picture. Your center's calls get simpler because boxes get honest. Your tight ends find life on leak routes because edges bite. And Soldier Field becomes your accomplice again. The slow huddle, the long walk to the line, the entire lower bowl leaning forward before the snap. You and your dad and your granddad all recognize. Now the checklist I promised Tales to watch. This week, if this scenario is heating, chatter about our usage of heavier personnel, a practice squad elevation at a position you didn't expect, a sign of roster chess, and the kind of press conference answers that say everything by saying almost nothing. If you see those three in a row, you'll know the phone's at least warm. If you see none, you'll know we're on the disciplined path and the committee. Plan is live. Let me plan a picture to close the loop. Late afternoon, steel gray sky, breath hanging. 3rd and 2. Everyone in the stadium knows where it's going. Between the guards, right at the teeth. The ball snaps. Double team K's A. Rib. The back hop cuts, shoulders down. The pile slides like a slow-moving snowdrift. 1st down. Knees. Win. That's not nostalgia. That's a plan. That's the version of Bears football that makes the city nod and go quiet in the best way. My personal take. If the number is 2 premium picks plus a player we can replace with. Coaching. I push the chips in. In Chicago, Winter is a coordinator, and a closer in the backfield is not a luxury. It's an identity multiplier. I'm not emptying 3 drafts. I'm not detonating the cap. But I will pay for a December hammer because I've seen too many Januaries slip on 3rd and short. If the market shoots past that line, I pivot without shame to a role-built committee. And dare our line to grow up fast. Either way, the standard is the same. Own the last 5 minutes. Now drop your offer in one line, tag it bear down, and tell me the game from your lifetime that taught you where your line is, because that's how this city decides what comes next.